Assisted suicide should not be legalized in the United States. Every year, approximately 1 million people commit suicide worldwide. That is nearly one death every 40 seconds. But in the United States, it is actually illegal to commit suicide. But one big part of this is assisted suicide. Assisted suicide is the action of committing suicide using lethal drugs provided by a physician. We believe that assisted suicide should be made illegal in the United States altogether. We believe this for 3 main reasons. The first reason is that it goes against the duty of a physician to take a patient's life. And our second reason is that the patient may not be mentally stable enough to make the logical decision for themselves. And our final reason is that no matter how much the patient is suffering, death is not the answer. The first argument that I said was that it goes against the duty of a physician to take the patient's life. When someone decides to become a doctor, they take a pledge called the Hippocratic Oath. This oath specifically states that the primary duty of a physician is to first do no harm. When the doctor provides the drugs, they are obviously harming the patient as well as everyone who cares for them. This pledge goes on into more detail and eventually specifically states that the doctor shall give no deadly medicine to anyone if asked. When the doctor cooperates with the patient's demands, they will be breaking the commitment they made when they decided to enter this practice. Patients trust the doctors to help. But not only are the doctors harming them, they are also killing them. Webster's Dictionary provides us with a definition of murder, which is the unlawful killing of one human being by another. They are strictly murdering them, stripping them of the odds they have defied to get to where they are. Our second argument is that the patient may not be mentally stable enough to make the logical decision for themselves. Based on my research, Dr. Burke J. Bulk explained that 94% of people who have either committed suicide or at least attempted have a mental disorder in which they cannot make a logical decision for themselves. For many who suffer from an illness, the way they look at themselves has been altered in some way that would affect their decision. Many tend to think of themselves as social outcasts, which may make them feel hopeless. When these people feel this way, they would clearly make the decision to end their lives as they see no purpose in living anymore. What these people do not know is that there is a purpose, but because of society or even an illness they have suffered from, it has made them think differently. These people cannot make the decision as they may no longer know exactly what is best for them. My final argument I would like to point out is that when someone is fighting a terminal illness and they feel hopeless or they just want to give up, death is not the answer. Legalizing assisted suicide would not help anything. My opponent may point out that it is curing the ill and ending them of their suffering, but what they did not care to mention was the pain caused. Their families are stripped of a loved one and the doctor watching their patient die. With the end of suffering comes the beginning of another suffering. Assisted suicide will also affect more people than just the patient. The legalization will be an opportunity for anybody to end their lives. People could lie about their health or level of pain in order to obtain these lethal drugs to commit suicide. It's better for a patient to seek effective treatment rather than take their lives. If you were to see someone standing on the edge of a cliff, would you want to have to bear the burden knowing that you were the one that told them to jump? Would you want to give them a push? If you were to see someone who has lost all hope, would you want to provide the way out? If someone is feeling so hopeless they would rather end their life than seek treatment, it is inhumane to lead them to death.